The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches us that the works of mercy are charitable actions by which we come to the aid of our neighbor in his spiritual and bodily necessities. Instructing, advising, consoling, and comforting are spiritual works of mercy. The corporal works of mercy consist especially in feeding the hungry, sheltering the homeless, clothing the naked, visiting the sick and imprisoned, and burying the dead. Among all of these, giving alms to the poor is one of the chief witnesses to fraternal charity, and it's a work of justice pleasing to God. Well, since 1938, Catholic Community Services in Salem has been living out the corporal and the spiritual works of mercy, operating with fidelity to the principles of Catholic social teaching, working for the common good, and serving our neighbors who are the most poor and vulnerable. Heidi, Frederick, the Volunteer Services Coordinator for Catholic Community Services in Salem, joins me today to share how this loving arm of the Catholic Church continues to live out the works of mercy in our hurting world. Welcome, Heidi. Thanks for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is a real pleasure.
Well, last year I saw you at the Rosary Bowl, and you will be there at the Rosary Bowl with Catholic Community Services of Salem in this 2024. And you mentioned a lot about what's happening with Catholic Community Services of Salem. I wanted to have you first, as you share with us the mission and how that's lived out. How did you get to know about this community? How did you get the call to work in volunteer services?
Well, I have been with Catholic Community Services since 1993. I was at that time I was a youth and family counselor in a therapeutic treatment foster care program that we had, and loved it. It was great. But I worked with that for a long time. So in 2015, they realized we don't have a volunteer services program at all. We have volunteers, but no one's tracking their hours. We need to do that to recruit and whatnot. So they approached me, asked me if I wanted to do it. I was scared to death, but there was no one to compare me to because no one had done it. So I took it on, and I do have to tell you that it has been just the thrill of a lifetime for me, and the best position I've ever had in any agency that I've worked for. It's just incredible working with volunteers, and I hope to continue for some time. Not ready to retire yet. So
That's right. Hey, Heidi Frederickson, or Heidi Frederick is with us. Excuse me. Heidi Frederick is with us. Again, Catholic Community Services in Salem. Give us a little idea of the mission, of just the different ways in which this particular organization really reaches out and touches those in need.
Well, one thing I'm really so proud of is just the diversity that we have in our agency, and a lot of people aren't aware of how many programs. So our mission statement, which just says it all: Catholic Community Services is a Christian ministry caring for all in our community, built on faith, hope, and kinship. And we do incorporate all of that into our many programs. Our vision statement is: we envision a caring, resilient community full of hope and connection where all people flourish. And we love that word, flourish. We want people to do that. Our values are love, justice, truth, and freedom. And in our programs, and if people do want to contact me, I have a full program description list. It would take too long to go through it right now. But one thing I love is just all the ages that we reach. We work with newborns. We work with moms, young moms who are pregnant, have nowhere else to go, to young adults, to the elderly. We provide services to those struggling with alcohol and drug dependency. It's a big part of our program. The young pregnant girls with no other means of support or shelter. We work with adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, both in our homes that we provide, and then with 24/7 care. And then also for those living independently, but they do require case management and support. And those are wonderful programs. We also have a youth respite center. It's in McMinnville, and it's where youth and parents, they really need a break. You know, they're going through a lot. And so youth can go up there. They can spend as long as a week if need be,
Mm.
but they get support. The parents get support to bring them back and just have a more harmonious relationship. So that's a great one. We have a wonderful mental health counseling service that we have had for most of the existence of CCS. And we're just committed to providing these services and making sure that if we can't provide something, we know resources in the community who can. And we partner with a lot of other nonprofits, not and for-profit agencies that can really help the people that are so much in need. So very proud of just the wide range of folks that we reach.
Right. Heidi's with us with the Catholic Community Services in Salem. If you want to look, I mean, the programs are so extensive of all of the different things that are going on. ccswv.org is the website, and we'll put that on the podcast as well, because you can look at the different ways in which the services are offered. You know, when we talk about Salem, Kaiser, I mean, give us an idea of just how far out you reach the different people, because it's not just the Salem area. I think you
Oh
really
no.
can reach out. There's so many rural areas that you want to touch those people, that so they don't get lost in the cracks.
Yeah, they don't. We actually service 7 counties, and we are as far as we have had services in Lincoln City, Albany, going toward the Portland area, Canby, McMinnville, Staten, Silverton, Woodburn, Newburgh. It's such a wide reaching area that we have, and those encompass really kind of all the programs that we have, including the volunteer services programs. We have volunteers from Portland that will come down and help us out on occasion. And, you know, actually, we've had volunteers from Burns, Oregon that came over to help us out at an event. And we reached them through the Knights of Columbus, who the Knights have been incredible in supporting us and being there for us. So that's been great, but it's wide reaching. It's really fun.
Absolutely. And Heidi, I want to ask you some more questions about just volunteers, that our listeners here. How can we be involved in doing different things? But we are coming up to a break. So do stay with me, and we'll continue our conversation in the next half hour.
Great. Thank you.